There was one wonderful Vaishnava, our god brother, called as Sroka Krsna Prabhu. He was many years very, very strict, sincere brahmachari at Radha Gopinath Mandir. After some time, he became grahastha. After some time, within few months, he developed a very serious cancer of his spine. There was a great struggle amongst all of us, God brothers, God sisters, doctors. And as the end started nearing, he said, expressed his desire that he wants to pass his last day of his life at his home. And as saying goes, home is where heart is. He had given his heart to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. So he was taken to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. And there, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and other devotees, he is on the stretcher and he is taken to the whole parikrama of small Vrindavan forest and Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. And Maharaj will tell him, Sroka Krsna Prabhu, when you will go to Vrindavan, when you will reach Goloka Vrindavan, you will see Param Pujya Bhaktitit Swami Maharaj. You will see Param Pujya Sridhar Swami Maharaj. You will meet Srila Prabhupada. Nanda Baba will be there. Next to him will be Balramji. Yashoda Mai will be there. Next to her will be Krishna. And Srimati Radharani will be waiting little away, shy of her other senior family members. Slowly, with the loving hand, spiritual master was directing his dear son to his ultimate goal, as written in our scriptures, that spiritual master holds the hand of a disciple till he hands over that hand in the hand of Shri Krishna in Vrindavan. Gradually, the time started coming. We were speaking about breath and the heart. I reached late evening, and the Dr. Brahmachari Prabhu, who was taking care, he just whispered in my ear, Prabhu, Maharaj has said when time comes to call him. As a doctor, we know we cannot say when the time will come, no matter how senior you are. And then my hand was in his pulse, and little flickering I felt, and I rushed to Maharaj's room, which was around 30 steps away. I knocked on the door. Before I paid Dandvat, I said, Maharaj, looks like time has come. I paid obeisances, and by the time I raised my head, surprisingly, with unusual speed and agility, Maharaj has already reached to his room. I went behind. Maharaj was holding hand of Sroka Krsna Prabhu, and I started counting the breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 5th breath, the dear son, holding hand of his eternal father, he left his body. 4:29 was the time, and within few seconds, Shankh was blown because the doors of the deities were open. And that Shankha was called for a heroic escape of a wonderful Vaishnava under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada and his disciple. Next day, His Grace Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajagri Prabhu had come to temple. And Jananivas Prabhu was speaking. Such wonderful statement he made. He said, what was available for Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, it has become so easily available for all of us. And that time, I was just thinking, what is the distance between the compound of Radha Gopinath Mandir from the doorstep, from the staircase to the road? Maximum 20 seconds. But because of the love and affection of Maharaj, that environment what he has created, loving, many times this 20-second crossing becomes 5 or 7 hours. The road in front of Radha Gopinath Mandir is littered with hours and hours of the spouses waiting for them to come out and go home. So such a short distance Maharaj has made such a long and such a longest distance going from this material world to spiritual world. With the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he has made it so short and so easy. Once I was at GV to meet Maharaj, and one cow had lost her just newborn calf. And that time, the whole atmosphere in the Goshala was so much gloomy, cloudy and heavy. Maharaj that day hardly spoke or ate anything. It was as if his own family member had left body. His love was for everyone, whether it's a disciple or whether it's a calf. There was one Mataji, Kirti Pashan. She had a cancer, advanced cancer. She came to me and I went to Maharaj to request. She has been chanting for many years, a widow with 2 sons, nobody else in the world. And I told Maharaj, Maharaj, this is a situation, cancer. And to my utter dismay, when I was speaking this, Maharaj started shedding tears for someone who has never met, to someone who has never seen. And then I requested Maharaj, can you give her an initiation? Maharaj agreed. And then the long story comes towards the end. All the chemotherapy, radiotherapy, everything is done. And as a last treatment from Nanavati hospital, we were taking her to Radha Gopinath Mandir, because that day Maharaj was leaving. And probably in this body, this disciple will not see her spiritual master. So we took her into the temple, and after long, so many visitors, Maharaj came. And she immediately started speaking her initiation mantra. Maharaj took the bead bag from her hand and took it in his hand. She spoke whole initiation promises. And then Maharaj gave her bead bag back and he told her, Kirti Mati Devi, this body is a place of preparation. Please do not be attached to this body. You belong at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath and Ashtasakis in Vrindavan. Then he asked me to get a Maha garland and a photograph of Radha Gopinath and Ashtasaki. And first time I saw Maharaj garlanding, she was already paraplegic, she was on the stretcher. Maharaj garlanded her and gave that photograph as a gift. After darshan, while we were going back, I was crying, she was crying, her both sons were crying. Because we felt that the most important treatment of her was done today. Not the chemotherapy, not the radiotherapy, not the medicine. The treatment was given by her eternal spiritual master. We came home and there is a long story. But when the end came, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite Te Kariya Aikya. When the end came, Dwarkadish Prabhu, Vishwarup Prabhu, Madhwanand Prabhu, their wives, all the Vaishnavas were there and singing and playing kirtan. Holy name was being sung and she started gasping. And while she was gasping, it became apparent that a time has come, and suddenly one lady who was there as a caretaker, whom our devotees had appointed, who was not a devotee. She had just joined to take care of this Mataji. Suddenly she jumped, went to the wall, brought out one photo frame and just kept in front of her. And Kirtimati Mataji saw that photo and took the last breath. That was the photo which was given by her eternal father, Radha Gopinath Ji and Ashtasakhi. So, what he said, that you belong to Radha Gopinath and Ashtasakhi in Vrindavan at their lotus feet. While his last remains were being taken, she was decorated fully with all the devotional paraphernalia. Her young son, Vinay, just said, wait, wait, wait. And he brought something from the cupboard. And that was the dried garland which he had preserved. That was decorating her body, which was given by her spiritual master as a last loving exchange when she was taken to the pyre. So this relationship of spiritual master and disciple is eternal. There was one young girl who was studying in Nair Dental College, and she was very, very bright student, very wonderful in her studies. And one day she was walking on the Bombay Central's road outside Nair Hospital, and suddenly she heard some sound and she waited as if somebody was calling for her. She stood there, turned around, started walking in the direction from where that sound was coming. She was not knowing who is this person. She ran towards that particular building, climbed the stairs, went on the terrace, and on the terrace, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was singing, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This was the calling of a spiritual master to her disciple. And that young girl today is none other than Her Grace Sita Mataji, who is a counselor at Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. My first ever personal meeting with my Guru Maharaj was at Dwarkadish Prabhu's house. And in my first meeting, Maharaj spoke that with passage of time, big buildings, monuments and temples, they wash away with the passage of time. But the love, affection and cooperation which is invested in building those structures remains eternal. I never knew that statement will have so much of impact, practical impact in my life. Today, after 37 years of Bhaktivedanta Hospital, I realize that love, affection, warmth, care amongst Vaishnavas is the most important and eternal thing in our life. Once there was a big yatra for Vrindavan. Me and my godbrother Radhanath Prabhu, who is our director, we couldn't go for that yatra. And at Mahaprabhuji's house, me and Madhavan Prabhu, after the program, with a meek folded hand, we begged mercy from Maharaj. And we told him, Maharaj, please forgive us. Because of professional reasons, we are not able to come to Vrindavan. And Maharaj, in his very typical signature style, he held one side with me strongly, other side Madhavan Prabhu strongly, and spoke into our ears. He said, wherever two devotees are serving in cooperation, keeping Guru and Krishna in the center, that place is not different than Vrindavan. Today also, being at Bhaktivedanta Hospital, I realize that a pure devotee has a capacity to transform an old orphanage into a beautiful Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. He has a capacity to transform a land, unused land, into a Govardhan eco-village. Not only that, but he can transform a place like a hospital into a temple. Bhaktivedanta Hospital, Maharaj has given everything. We were planning to decide the color, and out of our immaturity, we thought a particular color was matching to the spiritual color. We told Maharaj, and experts also said that this color is the best color. So from Vishwarup Prabhu's house, me and Madhavan Prabhu, we told Maharaj, we want to show you the color and approve. And while walking only, he has not seen still the building. He said, Prabhus, I may give a radical suggestion which will be difficult for you to accept. We said, Maharaj, whatever you say. He went, he saw everything. And he said that since you are naming this building as Bhaktivedanta Hospital, the color should be matching the first building which Srila Prabhupada had in Mayapur. And we had to match that particular color and try to match with our hospital color. And something while going he said, he looked at our chosen color and he said, this is not saffron, this is pink. And then he said, there is a very thin, first he said, pink represents lust, saffron represents sacrifice. And then he said, there is a very thin line of shade between a pink and saffron. And then he said, very few know the real difference between the two. He gave us at Bhaktivedanta Hospital center. We thought of Srila Prabhupada's deities will be somewhere in the corner. But he said no. Srila Prabhupada should be physically, emotionally, he should be in the center of Bhaktivedanta Hospital. He used to come every Tuesday at Mira Road and spend time with us that time. Now it looks like another world. And one day some sound vibration was coming. As in our hospital, every room there is a sound system. And he said, what is this sound? And we said, Maharaj, it is your kirtan. He said, no. In Bhaktivedanta Hospital, the sound vibration should be of only one and one person, that is Srila Prabhupada. He gave us a mood, the mood that if whoever enters Bhaktivedanta hospital, he is to be considered as a guest of Srila Prabhupada. And lastly, the secret of success of Bhaktivedanta hospital, he said, whoever comes to Bhaktivedanta hospital, irrespective of caste, creed or religion, give them genuine treatment. And that is the why today more than 44% of our patients are coming from different background. Once Maharaj had some shoulder problem, and I was waiting. I got an appointment to see Maharaj after the Bhagavatam class, and unfortunately that was the last day Maharaj was leaving. And I was waiting and waiting. By 11:30 Madhwanand Prabhu's phone came. And he asked me, Giriraj, kya kar rahe ho? I said, Prabhuji, I am waiting for Maharaj to call me. And one sentence he said is still decorating my heart. He said, greatest is the fortune of the disciple that he is given opportunity to wait for spiritual master in anticipation of a service. A disciple, when he waits that his spiritual master will call him, that is the greatest fortune of a disciple. After a long time, when Maharaj called me, Maharaj told Gaurang Prabhu and Govind Prabhuji that I put Giriraj Prabhu in a very serious predicament. Yes, it was a serious predicament. And somehow Maharaj only inspired me to speak. Instantly that moment, Maharaj, you have been waiting for me since so many births. Few hours of my waiting does not make any difference. Spiritual master is waiting for us since time immemorial. One day we will divert our attention to him so that he can take us to Krishna. Speaking about predicament, once I went to Maharaj's room. My heart was feeling lot of emptiness. And that time things were such that you could enter Maharaj's room at the way you want. So I entered Maharaj's room and I said, Maharaj, I don't know why, but my heart is feeling lot of emptiness. Maharaj looked at me, and you know that look, deep, loving, penetrating look in the eyes. And then he said, Giriraj Prabhu, you have earned this predicament by not sharing with others what you have received. I am still trying to follow that instruction. Any understanding, any realization, I try to share. Initially I used to fearful that if I share this realization, it will go away from me. But the more I share, the more you get. That is the basis of Krishna consciousness. Regarding extreme high sensitivity, what time I should finish, Prabhu? 10 minutes. Okay. One day, in our olden days, Maharaj used to come and we used to go to receive him on airport. How the sensitivity we should acquire in our life. There was a huge queue with the devotees standing, and as usual I reached late from the hospital. I just ran, somehow managed to get one rose, and I was also standing in the queue. And then devotees were giving garland to Maharaj, and Maharaj came towards me. I just little went ahead, But before that, the devotee was standing next to me. Out of his pure love and eagerness, he garlanded Maharaj. And then Maharaj walked forward. After a few steps, he turned around, came back to me. I gave him that rose and he garlanded all his garlands to me. Because he knew that I was little bit hurt, that I could not offer him that single rose. That is Maharaj's sensitivity. Once he went to some devotee's house somewhere in South India for a rest. And after a few weeks stay, they were going back, and Maharaj's personal assistant, everything was ready, everything was packed. The only thing was remaining was Maharaj coming out and sitting in the car. And this Maharaj's assistant is wondering, Maharaj has not come. And it was getting late. So he went inside and searched, and Maharaj was not there. Then ultimately he saw some sound was coming from the bathroom. And he saw, so he realized that somebody was cleaning the bathroom. Maharaj came out, and that assistant said, Maharaj, I could have cleaned the bathroom. Why you have to clean? He said, no. When you go to somebody's house, and when you leave, while living, you should see to it that that house is cleaner than when you entered that house. We all have entered this material world with our own desires, our own liking, our own dislike. And very likely that when we leave this particular planet, we may leave some dirt behind, gross and more important, subtle. Our dealings should be such that when we leave this planet, it should be a cleaner, more loving planet than what was given to us when we entered here. Once His Grace Janani Nivas Prabhu and Maharaj were walking in Mayapur, and devotees were on cycle, and they will stop and speak to Janani Nivas Prabhu for some time, and then they will go. And this phenomena continued happening. And at one point Maharaj said, Janani Nivas Prabhu, just these devotees are stopping their cycle and spending time with you in talking. Just by that effort, you are stopping their cycle of birth and death. He has so much of details of small thing. At Radha Gopinath Mandir, if you see, we have monkeys, 2 monkeys on the altar. And that time, in early time, one devotee from Belgaum, he had made that monkey. And he brought that monkey, and I was just happened to be there. And Maharaj was saying, everything is all right, but this monkey will not do. I said, why, Maharaj? He said, humans have thumb like this, monkeys have thumb like this. Kindly make the thumb of the monkey like a monkey and not the humans. This is the attention for the details. Love means details. My mother tongue is Gujarati, so I translated Maharaj's journey home in Gujarati. Pele Parno Pravas, a journey across the river. So I was just one day in the compound, I was talking to Maharaj, and I told Maharaj my experience, and then Maharaj immediately held my hand, made me sit in the compound of the Radha Gopinath Mandir, and he told me, tell me, Giriraj Prabhu, which part from journey home you liked most? I said, Maharaj, I liked Ghanshyam Baba's episode very much. It was heart-touching. Then Maharaj, with full innocence in his eyes, on his face expression, he asked me, Giriraj Prabhu, you did not like my meeting Srila Prabhupada for the first time at Vrindavan. Because that was the best part for Maharaj, not only in book, but in his life as well. Last, I will end with one story. Once we were in Vrindavan and Maharaj had a deficiency or B12, and Vishnu Prabhu gave him vitamin B12 injection. And after coming out, he said, B12 represents 12 forests of Vrindavan. One day Maharaj came to the hospital. I was taking round with him. All the patients were shown. And finally on the 5th floor, Maharaj was going to his room and I was walking behind. And while climbing, Maharaj said, Giriraj Prabhu, any more patients to be seen? I said, yes, Maharaj. And with complete foolishness, he looked me, with complete foolishness, I said, Maharaj, it's me. Maharaj looked at me and he said, I am already seeing you. And when he said, I am already seeing you, in his eyes, through his eyes, with one of the most powerful MRI CT scan, every atom of my existence was scanned. And he said, I am already seeing you. Disciple may not be there in front of his spiritual master, but it's a reality that spiritual master is seeing his disciple every moment and every second. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to His Grace Giriraj Prabhu for sharing with us so many wonderful pastimes of Radha Maharaj and also especially the instructive pastimes. Let us all thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!